Well, welcome back to Superior Sunrise. With me now is Ethan Lane, Vice President of Government Affairs for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Ethan, thank you so much for taking time. I know that you guys are getting busy to head to Houston next week for the cattle conference. Talk about what producers can expect next week at the convention and trade show.
We are in full convention mode at this point. We are really excited to head down to Houston here in just a few days so that we can hold our 2022 Cattle Industry Convention and Trade Show. The team here at NCBA is always excited this time of year. This is the best opportunity of the year to get together with producers from across the country, from every state in the country. Different countries come in, folks that do business with cattle producers here in the United States. The largest trade show in American agriculture, 9.5 acres of exhibitors and interesting exhibits for attendees to interact with, and a really robust slate of policy committee meetings dealing with every issue you can imagine that impacts the cattle producers' bottom line. It really is an action-packed 4 days, and we can't wait to get started.
I know you touched right there at the end. I want to talk about the importance for encouraging producers to come down, attending those policy committee meetings, and how that's the opportunity for them to really get their voice heard.
It is. This is truly where the rubber meets the road for the policy process that guides everything my team in Washington, D.C. does on behalf of the U.S. cattle industry. We are a grassroots, producer-driven organization. And we say that a lot, but what we really mean when we say that is our marching orders come from producers. They come from those folks that show up to these policy committee meetings and give us our policy that we carry forward in Washington, D.C. So over the last couple months, what's really always cool this time of year is those new policies are moving through various county cattlemen's associations and state cattlemen's associations around the country. Ideas to target different issues that are of importance to producers, whether they be in the Pacific Northwest or the Southern Plains or in the southern tip of Florida. And all of those policies are going to filter into a couple days of really in-depth discussion in Houston next week. And that really gives us not just kind of fresh marching orders in Washington, D.C. on behalf of producers, but a really good opportunity to check in and make sure that what we've been engaging in is hitting on those notes that producers need us to hit on. It's an invaluable part of the process for us.
Well, I think there's so many great things for producers to attend, but also I know the PAC auction, live auctions will be hosting that. That'll be happening during there. Talk about the work that the PAC is doing for producers as well.
Well, the PAC is one of the most important tools we have in Washington, D.C. You know, we are a big industry, but in a town full of incredibly big industries, it's incredibly important that we have a tool to make sure that members of Congress and senators understand what it is we do, how we do it, and that they have the support of cattle producers when they're engaging in Washington, D.C. in a way that supports this industry. So we look for opportunities to support candidates that support the U.S. cattle industry, that have this industry's back in Washington, D.C. And the only way we're able to do that is by producers around the country, members of NCBA around the country, engaging with that PAC and making contributions. So obviously at our biggest event of the year, with all those members there, we like to have a robust PAC auction so that those members can bid on items and support the political action committee, their political action committee, to arm us to make sure that we're ready to do battle here in Washington, D.C.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out this morning to come and talk to us. I hope you guys have a great week next week in Houston. And if you haven't made plans to make your way down to Houston for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association Cattle Conference, be sure to do so and stop by Superior's booth 907 in the trade show. When we come back, Robbie Shocker joins us for the Fort Worth Stock Show commercial heifer sale. Stay with us.